So all of my iPhones just came in, and the very first one I unboxed is my iPhone Air in space black. I've really been looking forward to this. Now, the very first thing that you're going to notice about the iPhone Air when you go to the Apple Store to hold it in your hand, or let's say yours is arriving, is just how light it is. It is unbelievable, and then also how thin this device is. Matter of fact, when I'm like, I just unlocked my phone and I'm looking at this display, you feel like as if you're holding a display, not a phone. And that's the beauty of this large, like 6.5-inch display. It's really beautiful. And at the same time, with just a little bit of bezel around the corner, you really get this really awesome feeling in the hand of just experiencing a display and not a phone.
What's AI going to do to us? Talk about convenience. How much, and I want to keep hearing studies, I wonder if you have an opinion on this. How much of you coming up with an idea and then writing and rewriting it, thinking about it? No, 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 that's not sort of, oh, no, this is what I really mean and how to get it. How much of that is really valuable to get it beyond just an intellectual idea, more valuable than just going, oh, there it is. Because what comes out of it, incredibly impressive. My hunch is that we can use it for like signpost to help us. Oh, that's good. That'll help. Thank you for helping me organize. But there's a value to us going through the sweat equity of learning something.
Now, another thing I was paying attention to was how hot the phone was getting while setting up. If you've ever set up your iPhone when you first get it, because there's so much stuff going on, right? The phone tends to get hot here. Well, with the iPhone Air, the cool thing is your majority of the components are in this camera island. I know it's called the plateau, but island sounds better, right? So all the components are right up here in the top. And so as the phone was doing its thing, just like downloading apps and everything, it was getting warm all up in this portion. And what's cool about that from an engineering standpoint is that when you go to hold your phone, whether it's in your right hand, like I'm holding it right now, and this is how I hold my phone, or if you hold it in the left hand, your hands are not going to come in contact with the area that's getting warm. Now, obviously, if you turn it into landscape, then yeah, your hand is going to go somewhere on this area and you'll feel that your phone is warm when you're doing things with the camera, maybe you're gaming or something, right? But on a day-to-day basis, when you're interacting with the device just like this, the cool thing about that from a thermodynamics point of view is just the fact that if your phone was getting hot here, especially a thin one like this, and your hand's on top, your device is going to take longer to cool off. But with the iPhone Air, everything just being at the top over here, what's cool is that it's in the air. Like the heat that's coming off is directly going into the air. So I think that from an engineering standpoint is really cool. And that brings me to another thing, which is just how much hate this phone is getting, right? Whether it's the single camera or the single speaker, or people were worried about battery life, which, by the way, shouldn't be that much of a concern because as the reviews are coming out, you're seeing that this is getting good battery life. And obviously, this is going to be something I'm going to be testing. So get subscribed so you can see that video drop because I'm going to be sharing all of the good and bad about this device in my final review. And you see, that's one of the things I pointed out in my Z Fold 7 review is the fact that, there were a lot of complaints about this device. It doesn't have three really great cameras or it doesn't do fast charging, but how thin this device is and how amazing of an experience it gives you on a day-to-day basis just far outweighs the negatives. And it's all about what is relevant to you and what you want out of your device. And you're going to get that same experience here. Again, it's only been a few hours, but when you hold this, and I've been playing some games, I've been watching some videos, it's just such an amazing experience to have a larger device because you have to remember I'm the consumer that has been making compromises of the larger display, of the better cameras, the bigger batteries, simply because I've wanted a comfortable form factor in my phone. My last large iPhone was the iPhone XR. Then I went to the iPhone SE, and I never looked back. Matter of fact, that is the first review that I did on this channel, and I filmed a lot of videos. My initial videos, all of them were filmed with the iPhone SE. Eventually the 12 mini, then the 13 mini, and then the iPhone 16e. And what I really liked here on the 16e was the fact that I got a larger display than the mini, but it was still a comfortable form factor. It was light. I didn't feel like I was carrying around something really bulky or heavy at the same time. And now with this, I'm really happy simply because I get an even larger display. But the upside here is that you get the ProMotion display. It's the same good display that you find in the Pro devices. It's 6.5 inches. The bezels are really, really thin, and you have a single camera like you do on the 16e, but this camera definitely should be better, and it's one of the things I'm really excited about testing out, so I can really showcase that one camera can be enough. And I think what it boils down to is the fact that, when you go to order a pizza, right? And let's say you're trying to keep the hips light and the tummy light, right? You go for the thin crust. And let's say you stack it up with all these different toppings and everything. But at the end of the day, you don't feel guilty because, like I said, you're not going to feel heavy on the hips. So it takes a little bit of that guilt away. Yeah, you could go for the deep dish pan or maybe these stuffed crusts with your favorite like seasoning on top of the crust, right? But that comes packed with dough, packed with a lot of carbs. And that's very similar to what the iPhone Air is that it's taking away all those carbs. And this is for the person that wants that day-to-day experience to be good, to be comfortable, to have a phone that goes in your pocket and melts away. And that's what this is. So I have finally reached 28% of battery life. I have a shortcut that actually kicks on low power mode at 30%. And I like to keep my devices between that 30 to 80%. And so this for me is more than enough to get me through the day. I started the day 80% at 4:36 a.m. Right now it is 12:40 p.m. And I've used this device way more than I would on a typical day simply because I was taking photos, I was making videos with this camera so I could incorporate them into this video. So this is all being done in one day. This entire video that you're seeing is done in one day. So Apple literally introducing this for the Air kind of crippled the Air right away. It made a lot of people think that it's not going to have enough battery life. But trust me, if you are not a crazy heavy user, there is no issue for you on making it through the day with the iPhone Air. So I hope you enjoyed this first impressions video. I can't wait to test this out further. If you have enjoyed this video, all I ask is you give me a thumbs up so more people can find this video. Don't forget to comment down below with your questions about the iPhone Air so I can pay attention to them while I test this device out because it will be the first device that I test out of all of them simply because it's the one I've been looking forward to. And most importantly, like always, take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.